by the end of this particular year, a lot of agentic AI is going to come and become part of our business processes.
What is that one problem that you would want to solve as a developer in this current space of LLMs or AI agents?
Every other day or every other hour, there is a new news about a certain model. So you don't have to keep up always with the latest models, and model just becomes like a plug and play for you.
O1 or DeepSeek?
That's a very tough question to ask.
Join with me right now is Pranshu Agarwal, the lead AI engineer at MathCo. Pranshu, welcome to MLDS.
Hi, thank you.
How do you feel? How's the event?
Oh, it's amazing. The energy here is really, really good. It's so good to see a lot of diverse people coming from variety of backgrounds, both experienced and there are a lot of experts here whom you can just talk to, and the energy is really, really awesome.
Right, I'm so glad to hear that. So it's just a part of your talk, and it was quite insightful. And more importantly, you spoke about a very crucial problem that businesses face
Yes.
while using AI in their tech stack.
Yes.
So for our audience, if you could just summarize it in broader terms.
Sure. So, what like with the recent advancements that we have seen in Gen AI, the bigger thing is that everybody is using a lot of AI assistants, a lot of LLMs, but sometimes they don't know if that's perfectly doing the right job for you or not. And that's where, the talk that we had, where I specifically focused on how to make your LLMs or your AI systems more and more reliable, more and more generate more and more accurate answers. So that's what context is really about, which helps to increase the performance of your same AI systems and do much more better for you. So that was the overall talk about, and we discussed some of the strategies on how you can make your solutions for your enterprises, solutions for your own customers much better. So that was the overall gist of the topic.
Right. So besides contextual awareness and the lack of it in LLMs, what are some of the other pressing problems that businesses are facing and you as an engineer would love to solve in the future?
Correct. That's an interesting question because, context is solving only a part of it, which is generate reliable answers. But from an engineering standpoint, considering these models are a lot heavier, latency is one of the things because that is directly impacting the user's responsiveness. So how can you make sure that the user is continuously engaged with you? That's one of the challenge that is there. The second is we have seen a term hallucinations quite a lot. So sometimes you don't know whether how do you trust LLM. So the trust, the reliability part of it is very, very critical because clients honestly, like right now, they also fear taking a lot of use cases in production because they don't know whether to trust the results from the LLMs right or not. So trust, latency, consumption, accuracy, all of these are like variety of challenges that you need to solve from an engineering standpoint. Yeah.
Right. So as engineers or as fresher students who often fear that AI is going to take over their jobs, we also need to talk about how open or receptive are businesses about integrating AI in their tech stack.
Okay.
So throughout your few years of experience, have you seen that skepticism sort of come down from businesses?
Again, an interesting question. So there is that skepticism going on, and a lot of people who are outside of this field, they come and ask like, is AI going to take over our jobs? But that's not really how you need to look at it. Like I've been going through a lot of tech talks where even the business leaders, what they say is your way of using AI needs to change, or the kind of way you execute the tools needs to change. You need to maybe bring in more and more tools as a part of your day-to-day life, so that you can do your job or your work much more better. And so having AI more as an assistance is a right answer for you, but it's not gonna like just come and replace you. However, it is helping us accelerate some of the work a little faster. So it's not just about taking away the jobs, but rather making those jobs much more smarter is I would answer it.
Right. I think that's quite an interesting and a very relieving take.
Yeah.
So another question I wanted to ask you was, in your presentation you did show me the interface of MathCo's Nucleus.
Yes.
So as an employee using the tool,
Yes.
so how important is writing good prompts? How much
Yes.
of a value would you assess to probably a non-technical person using the tool? Let's say a salesperson is using the tool from that company. So how important is prompt engineering, or the quality of prompts in that case?
Basically, in this case, you can't expect all the variety of users to be able to be good at prompt engineering, because they sometimes don't know the nuances of how it should be written. But rather, you can have your backend systems have the right set of prompts, which can still take the questions in like the raw format from the user, and now you have the responsibility to enrich it depending upon what the user might be trying to ask. So we are actually going from a place where people now need to ask more and more better questions. So we just carry that expectation that let the business users or let somebody from sales ask complex questions, ask more and more tougher questions, but it's our job to be able to enrich them in such a way so that we can generate the right answer. So all they have to do is just ask the right questions, but don't necessarily need to know the nuances of how prompt should be written. Rather, maybe sometimes they can try to give certain examples while they're talking about, like if they are asking a certain question, they can support it with some examples. That could be a good strategy for you to make your that could be a good strategy for you to write your prompt a little better. Just support it with some examples. But yeah, usually like just see the responses and then try to tweak it. So it's more of an iterative process that the user also goes through in basically seeing, okay, my first ever prompt was generating something like this. You see the result, you go back and make some necessary changes. So you iteratively come to a point where your prompts start doing much and much starts doing better basically. So
Right.
it's an iterative journey, but yeah, definitely not need to worry about a lot of nuances of prompt engineering.
Right.
Yeah.
So after Pranshu's talk, we had a lot of developers pick his brain regarding his knowledge of AI, LLMs, and engineering. So Pranshu, in your personal capacity, right, given how much of a passion you have towards the field,
Yes.
what is that one problem that you would want to solve as a developer in this current space of? What is that one problem that you would want to solve as a developer in this current space of LLMs or AI agents? So I'd love to answer that.
That's an interesting question again. So I've really not thought about the right problem that I want to say. But one interesting space which I'm currently exploring is since lot of models are coming to us at a very very fast pace. Like you might just see like every other day or every other hour there is a new news about the certain model. So the area which I'm trying to explore is can I create some sort of an abstraction in such a way that all I have to worry about is just solving the core problem, but all the way I handle all of these latest models, I don't really have to worry about it. So it just like needs to be a plug and play to all the other models. So I'm just trying to see if we can create a more sort of a generic platform where users don't need to worry about which models to pick and which model should I use and which model should I configure. I think we need to just keep users refrained from that. So that is one of the interesting areas which I'm right now exploring, so that you don't have to keep up always with the latest models, and model just becomes like a plug and play for you.
Right. So basically, want to eliminate the choice overload part of it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because some models promise something, the other models promise something, like DeepSeek, which is a very
Right.
recent pick for everybody. It is very good at reasoning. So, but like, how do I ensure that I'm using DeepSeek for reasoning, or should I use, let's say, a GPT model or an OpenAI model for reasoning? I think I am just trying to explore right now whether can that layer be abstracted, and whatever problems that I've already developed, they automatically pick the right model and they automatically use it for the right benefit of it. So that's the area which I'm right now struggling and trying to solve it both at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as a student of computer science, someone
Sure.
who's graduating from their college,
Yeah.
it is very hard for them not to look at, upskilling in AI, or, sort of thinking about that space, or
Yes.
sort of educating themselves in that space.
Yes.
So for someone who's moving into these worlds of AI agents, someone who's wanting to learn about them and do some sort of a development, what
Yes.
would your advice be?
Right. I think that's something which many of the freshers that we are also meeting, the people who are coming straight out of the college, they are looking for this excitement around AI. But it also depends on like their interest. Like you can't always have a knack of learning AI. Sometimes we have seen people who are still like a bit away from AI doing a lot of good full stack development or a lot of good web development. So it's about, can you you don't have to necessarily pick AI as an industry to only be as the option for you, but rather you can choose to be in any industry, but be familiar with how AI can help you in that industry. So it not necessarily means that you have to turn yourself into an AI engineer. Rather, even if I'm a full stack engineer, how can I do that full stack engineering much more efficiently using the right AI tools? So exposure to AI is a must, which I would recommend. And keep reading a lot of tech talks, keep reading a lot of blogs around these technical nuances, the lot of tools that come in the market. So just be aware of them and see how you can apply it in the own area of interest that you have. So don't think of pivoting as a career towards AI, but rather think of it as, obviously, if you have an interest, then definitely start as early as possible. But if you have in like a take on a different industry, just see how you can leverage AI there. So that would be my take around doing a career choice when you are at the beginning. Just leverage as much as AI to make your current job more efficient.
Right. So I have one last question for you.
Sure.
What is your hot take on AI? Anything?
Hot take on AI. I think it's moving faster than how we could imagine. So keeping up with the pace of it is becoming really really challenging, because you have to keep yourself always on the edge of learning something new, picking up something new. I think what I'm seeing is by the end of this particular year, a lot of agentic AI is going to come and become part of our business processes. So from the traditional last year, one thing that I'm looking forward to is agents actually helping us do some of our work on a day-to-day basis. So you can think of it as like an actual data science agent working with me by the end of this year. So I'm thinking that's going to be one of my hot takes, because I'm myself working towards it. Suppose if I have a 2-member team, why can't a third person be a data science agent for me? So I'm trying to see if I can actually have some of those agents work with me, not in order to solve the entire problem, but assist me to get to the solution faster. So I think that's my hot take on AI right now, that these AI agents are going to become part of our lives on a daily basis going forward.
I have one more last question.
Sure, please go ahead.
Did you get a chance to use the O3 Mini
Not yet,
or
but
the O1?
yes, we have
O1
used
or
the
DeepSeek?
That's a very tough question to ask.
At
But
gunpoint.
yeah, that's right. One thing that we recently saw was that DeepSeek really really does reasoning in a very very great manner. The way it breaks down the entire problem statement, it thinks about at every stage of it, is really really fascinating. But the other cons to it is like, how do you ensure that you are able to send your data to the right servers? That is a very so depending upon like what is your need, you have to make the right call. So I'll leave the answer a bit open ended for you, but I think it's and this is just the start. I'm sure there will be like 2 more competitors coming in this space again.
Right.
I think I hope your answered your
Yeah.
question a bit. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
All
Pranshu.
right.
This is
Thanks
really
a
fun.
lot. Yeah.